to Amanda's Bookish Adventures. Today I kind of want to talk about Bookslumps. What I've noticed is by doing readathons or like doing more than one readathon, I get really slumpy. Or like reading, say I read all contemporaries, I get slumpy if I read one genre. So I kind of tend to, when I read in a month, try to have a lot of other books to avoid a middle grade. Like not middle grade, but like to avoid a book slump, I'll read other genres like middle grade, romance, fantasy, graphic novels, manga. I try to listen to audiobooks to help, but I still seem to get slumpy. Sometimes it's because I did too many readathons. Sometimes I put too much pressure in myself to read this amount of books a month. Sometimes it's stress. Sometimes it's new releases, like, oh, this new release, you have to go read it. Try to keep up with the hype. I've noticed a lot with my reading. That's why I stopped. I've noticed with doing readathons, sometimes I can find books, like a prompt saying to find a book for that prompt. I have found books I would have never picked up that I absolutely loved, or group books that I've absolutely loved and I want to own, and I want to reread. But with readathons have burnt me out because I'm competitive. Oh, I can do 4 readathons or 3 readathons in a month. That burns me out and that makes me slumpy. And I'm very competitive with reading, like, oh, especially like with my twin sister. She's not as big of a reader as she is now, but it's kind of started like my competitiveness. Oh, she read this book. I need to read this book faster, or I need to read multiple books, but I'm also ADHD, so reading, I need to have some other stuff going on at once. Like when I'm reading, I have to have the TV on, or I'll be playing a video game, I have to have an audiobook on, or music. So that kind of tends to shift my focus. I get really competitive and that kind of makes me slumpy, but sometimes I get in genre slump, like say I've read maybe 3 romances back to back, that makes me slumpy. So with my TBR game, or that I just started this month, it's kind of helped pick out different genres. Sorry, my phone's at 10%. It's helped me pick out different genres, and I noticed that when I have different genres on my TBR, that I tend not to slump because I'm not reading the same. I'm not saying every book that's romance or fantasy is the same, but I've noticed when I've had a mixed genre TBR, it seems to stop me from getting into a book slump. I've also noticed holidays, since the coughing fit, since you saw me stop, to film this part of the rest of the video. So some tips I've noticed that seems to help me avoid slumping is the mixed genres, having different genre on my TBR. Rereading has definitely been able to help me avoid a slump, rereading some of my favorites. I would also say definitely know when to take a break. I struggle with that because I want to read 5 to 3 books a week. No, I need to know if I don't feel up to reading, do not. Sorry, it's been a long time. I just gotta go help my dad with something. I don't even know where I am, so I think I'm going to talk about DNFing. I don't know, I'll watch the whole video and see if it makes sense at the end. DNF books, if they do not make you happy, if you are halfway through, that is when I would DNF a book, because it's not going to get better. It's going to get worse, or you don't need to put yourself through that struggle. There's too many books out there that you'll probably really absolutely love. I still struggle with DNFing because then I'm like, well, then I only have books that are 4 or 5 stars. I should just read the whole book and give it a 3 or 2. Just DNF it. Don't waste your energy. Don't waste your time. There's more books you'll enjoy. I think I read House of Hollow when I first started my channel, and I've probably only been doing this for 2, maybe 3 months, and it was for a readathon, and I was so competitive of finishing that book. To myself, I was like, oh, I gotta finish this, it will get me ahead month, and I think it was only week 2 in the month, and it was just I gave it a 3-star, but I struggled so much. And some of the writing was good. I honestly probably would go back and give it a 2-star on Goodreads. But some of it was good that, like, I thought it would go somewhere or something. Like, I think that plot would have been so unique if it was, like, written in a different way. I don't even remember where I was at that point because I keep getting interrupted. Take a break, too. Like, if you feel sloggy with a book and you still want to finish it, if you're just not mentally there that day for that book, take a break, pick it up in a couple days, see how you feel. I'm going to start having to do that more. I just feel like, I don't know, the camera on my stand broke and I just not into it today with how much I've been interrupted in this video. All right, I'll get off the rant. Being slumpy is probably always going to be there for me with the ADHD, so I'm trying different routines too. Definitely, I struggle with like social media and stuff. Like if an alert happens on my phone, I want to physically go check on my phone. So I think one of my problems is I also need to have my phone away from me when I'm reading. Like, yes, I'm doing YouTube and talking about books on YouTube. I'm doing some TikToks. That is fine. Excuse me. Hi, Louie. But I do think having that away from me would make, yes, little guy, it would make it it would be easier to read, is all I'm trying to say. When have you noticed, like, how do you get slumpy? Like, is it because you read too much of a genre, or is it honestly just the time of year? Maybe you read a lot of books, or you're just bored, or you're stressed in your life. Let me know what tips or tricks you have, and I'll try them out and see if they work for me. I've enjoyed kind of talking to you guys about book slumps, and as I got interrupted again, please like, please comment, tell me those tips like I said. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!